All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude, and I am here in Shreveport, Bossier at, wait a second, the 7th Tap. This place is awesome, man. We got a little welcome bash going on. I'm just gonna give you a little walkthrough, a little tour. There's almost 25, 30 teams here today. Again, look at these clouds, look at this weather. It's been close. There's wind out here, it's crazy, a little spitting right now. Oh, there's a real spitting right there. I thought I was talking about the spitting rain. You really spit, man.
I always gotta look back. You go 5 feet the other way. Come on, boy.
All right, we got live music getting ready to get kicked off here in a little bit. I know there's just a little rain coming down right now. It's not supposed to rain much. Nothing's showing up on the radar, but it happens to be right over top of us right now. Got a good little bash going on though. It's our 2nd year here in Shreveport, Bossier. It's a great little district down here, the East Bank district. Got a lot of great bars. They got live music from the 80s, 90s, I believe. Rock band that's getting ready to go on. I love this though. This place is incredible, man. They got smash burgers. Kids out here hanging out, having fun, man. Cheering it up. Oh my, look! Who is that? It's the taco himself.
Whoa.
Mr. Michael Finwalter.
What are you doing? You know what? I've been able to find a good, whatever this is, in the tri-state. I came down here to get one. And, oh, and the Pro Series. There might have been that, too. Look at this place. What a great party. It has been 2 years in a row. Good stuff, Frank Geers!
Boom!
Boom.
The American Cornhole Organization. Yeah, it's a real thing since 2005. Find out how to play, where to play, and compete nationwide. Scan now to join the ACO family at AmericanCornhole.com. The ACO. We are Cornhole.
Around here, light can bring out the best in you. It can make you believe you'll find the buried treasure. Tempt you to bet on yourself. Convince you there's room for one more bite. And beg you to stay out way past your bedtime. Don't say we didn't warn you. Come find your island, Prince Edward Island.
Hi, I'm Rich Pyle, the host of Hole Nation, where we share everything this cornhole and a lot more. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and catch our new videos every Wednesday at 7. And remember, whether it's sticky or slick side down, bring it.
Hey, what do you say, Holeheads? Welcome to Taco Tuesday, the April 8th edition. This is the, what are we calling this one? The Louisiana Longhorn edition. And we'll tell you why here in a minute if you weren't. What was it? Lone Star? What'd I say? Longhorn? No, either one works. Louisiana Lone Star. Edition. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, that would have been nice. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers, baby.
Welcome. Finn the Loudmouth for the ACO. Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude. Kids, don't open your beers over your laptop keyboards. Do not. We are professionals. Do not try this at home. Yes, it was the Louisiana Lone Star. I mean, the Texas players toasted a lot of folks, but we'll get to the results here in just a moment. You saw the walk-around video there of the area just outside East Bank, and that, what a kick-ass place. I tried to visualize it last year because I didn't get to go. But seeing it and the stage and the music and the outdoor space and just the run of bars and restaurants up and down, we were right outside the 7th Tap there, but all the way down to Bojack's and everything in between. Wow.
Good stuff. I mean, the live music going, even with the weather. I mean, we still made it work, and it was awesome, man. Well, I had a great time.
It was. We called it also a wet and wild weekend because we got a little bit wet towards the end of the Welcome Bash party, but I think everybody had a good time. We had guaranteed payouts, so everybody left there with some money in their pocket and probably spent it on frozen drinks at Frozen Pierogi. Either way, a good time was had by all. Thanks to Bo for making it all happen, the guy behind the entire complex. What a great story he's got. Next year, you should go just to sit down and listen to the story he's got to tell about what they did there. But what a great welcome bash. So much fun. Everything else that you saw in the intro there, you saw a piece about the World Senior Games.
Yep.
We'll have more on that coming up here in a moment. One of the things that we are talking about is because so many of the Texas players showed up and had such a good weekend, we continue to talk about expansion to the West. And the players are starting to travel from the West into where our breadbasket has always been, and they're coming in and they're making names and they're making noise. So it's going to be interesting when East Coast and West Coast meet kind of in the middle at Tulsa for the World Championships in July. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you were there in Shreveport Bossier, would love to get your thoughts about the folks that you met, new people that you might have met while you were there. Throw them down there in the comments. You can join Harold and Sing Sing, who are already in there mouthing off. We love you guys. Hey, at the end of what's going on here, we're also we teased this a little bit last week. What happened? Oh, we gave our cookbook away, didn't we?
Cookbook away.
But John Steins, our buddy in Europe, with his he's got his own YouTube video cooking channel. And he took one of the recipes out of the cookbook, and he's got about a 3.5 minute truncated video of cooking one of these recipes. And
he's got a regular show.
Yeah,
but, this is a real cooking show.
Yeah, this show is awesome. It's called Just Good Food. If you go to YouTube, Just Good Food. He's got about 2,000 subscribers, just under 2,000, which is a good time to remind you to make sure that you're subscribing to the ACO YouTube channel and hitting the bell so that you're getting updates on content, because later you're going to be getting a content update that shows you Chad and Kim's excellent UK adventure. It took her that long to put this thing together because they went and did so much. So that's going to be on the YouTube channel as well. So all kinds of reasons to go ahead and subscribe to the ACO YouTube channel. But stick around at the end for that cooking segment with John Steins. I think you're going to like it. You also saw ACO Canada in there. I mean, it's so exciting to be getting ready to go in season 21 twice to Prince Edward Island. Yep. And you've had some back and forth.
September, and that's going to be May.
Yeah. And you've had some back and forth with them here in the last couple of days.
Everything's going
rolling.
great. Yep, we're starting to work on some equipment that we're going to be firing up there early to make sure that everything arrives on time, so we're ready to rock and roll with that thing.
Love it. The Wiz is checking us out from the UK. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see.
Paul Malone checking in, saying he really enjoyed the broadcasting that you guys pulled off this weekend.
And the live stats. And that's one of the things that we tried to mix in. You know, we mix it. We don't focus heavy on stats. We mix in storytelling. We got to talk a lot about new players. We got to throw down PPR. I really liked, and kudos to Heinerman, the new scoreboard, the way it's set up and framed, because you can see rounds, PPRs, and all that stuff. And I agree with you. And I think that's probably what Paul was referring to there. When we refer to it, it's kind of just of the moment, or who's going on, what's going on, scores on other courts. But yeah, I love that new frame out that we had via the Scoreholio setup. Harcrow setting up there. I saw him with his crazy socks. Great major, won money pitching bags, and won over $500 at the horseshoe slots.
So that's what I was going to make a point with Harcrow there. I mean, he points it out that one thing down there in Louisiana, in Shreveport Bossier, is there are a lot of good casinos. If you like gambling and stuff like that, they just opened a brand new one.
Yeah, Live.
I think it's called Live. They got the Margaritaville down there. Hey, it's a great place. We'll be back there next season, and if you didn't make this year, I hope for sure to see you next year.
Yeah, and it's funny because you talk to any of the Uber drivers, like from the airport to the hotel or the hotel over to the Bossier Civic Center, you get the sense, and you guys had an experience kind of with this the night before I got there, the city never really goes to sleep.
No.
If you get done at one place.
I can tell you a lot about the city throughout the night.
Right. A couple places that maybe they showed up and they're like, oh, I didn't expect this place to be open. And they were just getting rolling. But they said up until 6 a.m. you can go grab yourself a cocktail and find something to do. So good. Congratulations. Good on you, Harcrow, for grabbing 500 on the slots. Good stuff. Cumberland, Maryland, checking us out. Jim Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, is Jim Ryan who we're going to be featuring here in a little bit. Was that the graphic that we had sent to us, Eric? I think it was.
But also, while you're figuring that
Ryan.
out, man, John, the Wiz kid,
Yeah.
you know, he's loving the skins format. And I'll tell you what, Wiz, you're not the only one. We get that message from a lot of players across not only the U.S., U.K., internationally. Skins game is really a good thing.
Yeah, it is, and it's fun to play, it's fun to watch, and it's fun to call. We had a good time, and we had some really great matches in the Pro Series skins. We'll get to that when we start talking about the results, but it's really fun because we saw some things. Each Pro Series skins, we see something we've never really seen before. And there's so many different variations. And let's say you want to take that skins format and maybe you're familiar with it with golf or maybe through what you've seen on the Pro Series skins, but you'd like to be able to just take this to a cookout or whatever, and you gather up a bag of prizes or whatever your coin of the realm is going to be. If you go to AmericanCornhole.com, there is a skins for the backyard player rule set up there for you. So you can just print it off and you can take it out there and tell everybody, that's how it works. It's not really hard to figure out, but there's an SCR frame game that you can use to seed it.
Yep.
There's all kinds of things. AmericanCornhole.com, we don't talk about it enough, but it's all things cornhole, as is, we hope, this show is for you as well.
So Susan, Keith Jackson, is tuning in today.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, no, he's actually under her name right now. This is an alias name right now.
I finally figured out how to watch on YouTube, but I'm under my wife's name. I don't know how to fix it.
He's doing a killer job out there in PA, man.
I love it.
Keep it up, Keith.
I love it. And there's Stein's right there, just good food. Good evening, sir. We're going to be running your recipe at the end of the show, so everybody stick around. This is, by the time he was done making it, my mouth was watering.
That's good stuff.
And hopefully he'll be making more of these videos of recipes through the cookbook. And who knows, Haley
It was
Clark.
a little special.
Yeah, and Haley Clark is featured in the forward, as is the Cornhole Dude of this first printing. But maybe in the next edition, maybe the Wiz or maybe John Steins, maybe you're going to be the master of ceremonies that opens up the second edition, the next printing. And the reason we're doing this is because as of April 1st, Amazon has started selling this Cornhole Cookbook. It's not in pre-order status. It is go, baby, go. So get out to Amazon.com and get a copy for yourself. I think it's $15. Get a copy for yourself and everyone you know that loves cornhole or likes to eat, which I'm pretty sure is everyone.
Sing, sing. I have one thing to say here. Chris Day had an awesome weekend, and he really did as a player. I had an awesome weekend because of Chris Day.
Yeah.
He brought me a little treat, a little special IPA that he recommended that I try. And Chris Day, I said a couple times this weekend, I'm going to say it one more time. Thank you, my friend.
Yes, and you're going to be seeing and hearing from Chris Day here coming up with the Whole Nation Shot of the Week. Just a little teaser. Bag partners, scrolling across the bottom, there is a new bag initiative out there for bag partners for season 21, which has some deadlines attached to it. So if you are a bag manufacturer or you are in communication with your bag manufacturer, make sure that they've seen what's put out there.
No, that's a fact. I mean, you got to get signed up now. But speaking of bag manufacturers, I might want to bring this up too, Finn. The tailgater at the World Championships. I think I talked to you a little bit about that, right? I mean, we got the tailgater at the World Championships, and already, Finn, we have 7 bag groups that are involved with the tailgater
Nice.
program. Bag partners, if you're out there, you got your exclusive deadline April 11th, so make sure you guys are getting on. But we have Big Daddy Cornhole that's already signed up for this. We have Arcane Bags already signed up for this. We got BP Bags and boards coming at you. Man Bags, dude. We got Basement Bags, Cornographics, and Brother Bags already signed up for the tailgate zone. It's going to be bigger and better than ever at the World Championships.
And I'm pretty sure Big D is going to be signing on at some point here as well. But we got to get out of the front few letters of the alphabet. Let's get
a lot of B's, baby.
Alphabetically, let's get to rolling down into the rest of the alphabet. So that's going to be big fun because it does open up to non-cornhole bag companies after a certain point. So local businesses can jump in, and
we
we've
have
had
a few of those
some
already on the
interest.
waiting list.
Yeah,
Yep.
so waiting to do that. So don't get shut out if you want to be part of what is the grandest single undertaking, I think, of similar tournaments at the World Championships this year in Tulsa. So make sure that you check that out. I'm really excited about that because that's always a lot of fun, and we're going to try to add some added little elements to the tailgater. Speaking of Gators, congratulations, Florida, on the national championship last night. My niece and nephew go there, which is great because their parents went to Auburn and they can't stand it.
Dude, they pulled off what I guess Houston did to Duke
Yes.
a couple nights before that. Eric, I didn't get to catch the end of that. I think I was grabbing something to eat or whatever. I missed turning it on, but Eric said he walked into the hotel room. You maybe were tuned into it. Minute 30 seconds left, and Houston comes back from like 12 down.
12 down, yeah.
Crazy.
With some dude who looked like he had just woken up out of bed. There's some guy that played for Florida. And he was on fire again last night. But yeah, and by the way, if you're one of those people that wants to blame the officials for a call or a no call in the last 4 seconds, it's not the last 4 seconds that lost you that game. Anyway, let's see. Oh, we talked about subscribing, and also, again, don't forget that if you want to be part of the ACO push text program, where we can shoot notes to your phone when there's something we think you need to know immediately about, and there are going to be some of these things coming up as we get closer to Worlds, make sure that you text ACO to the following number. It's 833-695-1318. 833-695-1318. Just text ACO to that number. It will opt you in. And then if we need to get something right to your thumb tips, it might be a link to sign up for something that you don't want to miss out on, a limited edition something, a schedule change, whatever. We're not going to blow up your phone, but we want to make sure that you have access to it. At the end of the message that you get, if you press stop, if you text stop, it doesn't stop that message. It opts you back out. So you may wonder why you never get anything else. So just let them go. We promise not to blow you up, but do that. 833-695-1318. Text ACO there, and then save that in your contacts as ACO text. Then you'll know everything you need to know. And finally, on the media front, thank you to Courtney and our friends who you saw in the opening montage from KTBS 3 TV in Shreveport.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. We got to go out there. Craig and Ashley went out, and I mean, and TV stations are funny because you set the boards up like 7 feet apart, and
If that, dude.
If that.
I think
And
it was
you're-
one pace to the board.
yeah, it might have been 4 feet, but you're trying to explain. I think Craig did the best job of anybody we've had do this, trying to explain how to throw, and you can't really get it going. And he went to show her an air mount. I think he threw it into the other studio right there, but it was really a lot of fun. KTBS, appreciate you checking us, having us in and checking us out. They ran like a 5-minute segment on
It was
us.
a nice segment, and I got to get hats off to Craig Irvin for doing the job that he did on the show and on the piece. He did an outstanding job, and Ashley for being a trooper and getting out there on last minute notice.
Yeah, the whole time. This okay. I don't think I'm telling tales out of school. This is the entire trip over to the TV station. This is my impression of Ashley. Well, nobody told me I was going to have to be on TV.
She's like, Frank Geers, you need to give me
Yeah.
more time next time.
Hang on, I got. And then we go in and we're walking in, and you look at Craig, you go, "What's that on the back of your leg?"
Oh, yeah.
And it was just some goo on the back of his leg. He tried to say that it was some sauce from the pizza that we're eating. I don't know what it was. And afterward, he went into the bathroom and cleaned it off, and I go, "Well, what was it?" He goes, "I think it was ketchup." So, too funny. But what a great day. KTBS, thank you guys. We appreciate you. Let's talk a little regional rewind. It's an opportunity to tip our hats to the CODs out there, the certified official directors, when you're running your regionals, and more are still happening because points are still trying to get out there to be made. I heard, I think Kelsey Heidert even said she still has one more regional she's got to get to max out. But this week, it was a light load because a lot of people were out traveling or weather affected, and that's probably where we should have started. Hopefully, if you are in one of those areas that was affected by weather, it was minimal, and your neighbors and family and friends as well. The flooding in Kentucky and Tennessee and the usual suspect areas has just been brutal. Buffalo Trace underwater, a big chunk of Buffalo Trace, man. But I know that those are just some of the videos that we've seen. The Ohio River is cresting up around the base of the stadium, and it hasn't done that in almost 30 years. So hopefully you've remained safe. If you had to put your regionals on hold, that makes perfect sense. But once you do host them, make sure you send your information. Tell us just what divisions you ran, where, what your name of your group is, who runs the show, and just send it to taco@americancornhole.com, as did Harold Auxier, who's watching with us right now. They ran a seniors division, which he ended up winning. I think he was sandbagging there a little bit, perhaps, with some mythical bags from Bramey's. Second place, his buddy Jack. Robert Gross was in third. Jack Musis and Robert Gross. Then they also ran world doubles. In first place, Harold Shepard and Peyton Hurt. Second, Harold Auxier and Chuck Couch. And in third place, Jamie Stiltner and Robert Gross. So appreciate the heads up on that. This is a group that we think is new, right? That set us their first regional. First time they've submitted from Knox, Indiana. Ryan Smith from Northern Hoosier Baggers. We appreciate that. Always good to see new names and new games
Love
in there.
new names.
And
Appreciate you
DJ
being
Skipworth. I love this one because you'll see their the Kentucky Corn Slingers. You'll see the barrelhead right there on screen. But there's a jersey that's going to pop up here. I want you to see. This is an awesome. Oh, it did? Did I miss it? Ah, rats. It's really cool. It's kind of bourbon colored, and it's really a badass jersey,
nice.
DJ. Central City, Kentucky. They held it the Monday before, and their airmail challenge paid out $3,022.
What?
I know, right? And they ran
Dude, I'd
world
have gotten in the
singles
car
and
to
doubles.
try to get down there for that one.
So, hey, DJ, let's go. Nicely done. But yeah, that jersey, if I don't know if it'll roll through again, but man, that is a badass jersey. I got to be honest with you. Let's see. So if you have a regional you want to show off a little bit and brag about yourself, please do. Send it to taco at AmericanCornhole.com. Send us some photos and just the basics on what you ran, and that'll be great. It's a great way for us to say thank you. And COs and CO directors that are in as part of the ACO and that we may be welcoming in the coming seasons, some big stuff is coming for you, we promise. Monster Cornhole. We forgot last week. We were talking about a monster of the month for the month of March, but you've got a brand new graphic and ranking, don't you, already?
Oh, yeah. We got a brand new graphic. We got some ranking players up there. I mean, matter of fact, I think it was last week we even talked about we got new prizes attached to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the cookbook is now part of the prize category. The prizes are up to $26,000. We got Jim Culver here with 800 points, the first one to get to 800. Now, he's not done. He's not at the top of the leaderboard yet with the perfect score, but he's doing well. We also had like a Georgia player jump into the mix.
Yep.
I think maybe it was a Kentucky player, maybe that's now, or Georgia, Kentucky, and Indiana.
Indiana are the primaries.
The primaries at the top here. But there are so many people below them right now that are inching their way. Next couple weeks when we show the leaderboard again, Finn, there's 3 months left of this. I mean, we go till the end of June with this thing. And don't forget, I mean, if you're a director out there running cornhole tournaments that are blind draws, using Scoreholio, you can have your tournaments be eligible to be submitted to the Monster standings. So highly recommend directors looking into it for their players.
Well, again, I think sometimes we can get a little bit too close to it. It's worth reminding you, anybody can do this. Anybody can come in and play, again, in these blind draws. Anybody that's running tournaments for any organization. You can be a member of any organization. You can be part of Monster Cornhole and create a kind of a subset for your players that want to use Scoreholio and want to do that. So it doesn't matter what league you might be in, association you might be in, what club you might be in, whatever it is. Everybody's welcome because this is all about growing the game again and coming in and being able to play against somebody at eye level and at your skill level and bring the party. We see lots of different social groups that are out there doing that. You guys would be perfect to come in and start running Monster Cornhole events. 2 seasons in a year, as you said, through the end of June, and then July 1st through the end of December starts the whole next season. So a lot of fun. If it's a ramp and a gateway for you to play more competitively and want to get into something like the ACO, great. If not, Monster may be all you're looking for.
Yeah, and again, 800 players right now are going to walk away with some kind of prize from
great.
this. From the cookbook all the way up to a trip to the World Championships. Yeah. So really good stuff, man.
I don't want to be around on the day all that gets mailed out. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to be out of town. Let's talk a little bit about finally, again, the cookbook. Just a reminder, the big cooking segment coming at the end with John Stein. Stick around at the end of the show. It's about 3.5 minutes. You're going to dig it. I think you're going to love it. But Fox Chapel hit us up, told us April 1st. Everything is now available on sale at Amazon.com. We'll get more detail about retail locations as well. But anything you've ordered, pre-ordered, should be on its way, if not already in your paws. So check that out. Now, before we get to the results, how about this slide? We got Jim Ryan, I think you checked in a moment ago. 70 inches diagonal right there on the 70-inch.
Oh,
how about that?
70-inch.
He had us up on the big screen
killer,
over
dude.
the weekend. Love that. I know Margaret Barrett hit us up, and she had us up at the Bruce Distillery there in Ducktown, Tennessee. So, Margaret, we appreciate it. I said, were you able to hear any of it? Because I reached out to Margaret. We were talking about something else, and she goes, we didn't really have the sound up. She goes, but it did get a lot of conversation started within the Brewstillery there. And she said everybody was having a good time. People seemed to be digging, seeing the stats again, like they were up scoring.
I love that. I
So,
love that.
very cool. So, Jim Ryan, thanks for throwing us up there on the big screen. As always, Margaret, appreciate you as well.
Can I backpedal 1 second just to say Susan Jackson, a.k.a. Keith, just made a comment here just back on Monster. He got 5 clubs just recently in the Pennsylvania market to join the program. So, again, just saying, it's out there, it's still alive, and many more directors can get involved.
Well, and that's the hope with anything. I mean, think about this. One of the other jobs that I have is I work with the VFW, and I work with the band Jackal. And people that know me know this. People that don't, now you know. But here's the thing, and this is the same thing with cornhole. Where is the next generation of player or fan coming from? I mean, certainly we have word of mouth. We have our own family members, our own, whatever, the kids that come up through the ranks that, that are usually running around and playing on the stairs, and then all of a sudden they're winning championships. But Jackal, they've been around for 35 years. Well, who are the next Jackal fans? So everything is about churning and introducing. The VFW, you look at some of the events that they do, everybody in that room, I'm guessing it's mostly flip phones, if there are phones. But we're not for lacking veterans, but what is it that the veterans of today want to do? Where does the VFW bring somebody in and service them? How do you bring them in and interest them? That's what all of this is about. Growing the game has been the only thing this guy's ever been about. We've been fortunate to be part of watching it happen through season 20 now. But Monster is a perfect way to do exactly that. And Keith, you're exactly right, baby. That's exactly what you want to do, is bring in these new groups, and then word of mouth takes off and makes it happen. Hey, thanks to our crew in Shreveport Bossier. LaBelle was there running things like a spinning top. It was humming. Whitney and Jacob Garner, appreciate you guys. You were a lot of fun. It was quite the weekend together, I will tell you that. Craig and Ashley Irvin, as always, just workhorses and fun to be around, and just sort of, it's sort of nice to see people that people gravitate to and toward and whatnot, and just sort of incorporate everybody, and nobody does it better than the Garners and the Irvins and the crew that we had there. Sean Priest, doing a bang-up job
about him.
And then, I think
he's there when you need him, man. He's there when you need him.
And
load the truck.
He left Saturday night to drive into Arkansas, and then it was leaving to go to Columbus to do some work, and then he's going to be up in Toledo. So he's doing his thing. Heinerman behind the scenes, Phil the Thrill, my man, the Mississippi Ninja. This guy here, what a crew. It was a great crew, and it was a lot of fun. And
to yourself.
Yeah, wow.
Hell of a job this weekend. Running with Phil, the
Mississippi Ninja, and I, we had a few moments where we broke down just a little bit and got to laughing, but that's what it's all about. It's supposed to be fun, in case anybody forgot. But the getting there was half the fun. Getting home was not half the fun. And I know a lot of you guys had roads that you were planning on going home to, especially going into Arkansas. Whatnot, they're like, that road's underwater, so unless you brought one of those duck boats down there, you got to find another way. So hopefully everybody made it. I know Phil was heading back up toward Memphis in that area, I think. So hopefully everybody made it safely. But what a weekend it was. Women's singles. Kelsey Hyder took first place, and Phil picked that one. That was one of his picks from last week, and that's the only one he got. So that tells you where we're going right here. Kelsey and Lisa Hill battled it out, and Wendy Barger came in third. Wendy's game has really come around.
Wendy's
really has.
game really has, man. So that's all I need to say, but she's really come on.
Yeah, so Lisa Hill battled Kelsey. Kelsey got the better of her that time. In seniors, Johnny Thomas, how about that? Who I ran into at the welcome bash. He's like, I said, where you been hiding? He goes, I'm not playing very well. So he I think I'm his good luck charm because he's always winning when I'm there. But he beat Art Brown, and Art Brown is a name that Phil told you, be on the lookout for Art Brown. Art Brown could very well come in and win seniors at the Worlds.
Yeah, I think it was Eric that was giving me a little background on him, and I guess he was a premier archer.
Yeah.
So in archery, I mean, so anybody like that, understands focus, and cornhole is so much about focus.
Well, and you saw one of Phil's interviews after the recent tournament, and he was talking, and Eric says, dude, I listened to that guy talk for 20 seconds. He's a sniper. I know the vocal tone and the level and the pace of somebody that has, like you just said, the focus and a champion. Art Brown is that guy, so keep an eye out for him. And Scotty Beck, one of the finest people we've had come into the ACO in the last couple of years, couldn't be nicer. Junior singles, how about Bryce Jefferson and Noah Dennis battling it out? Noah, I said, you got to quit conditioning your bags with Gorilla Glue, dude. He couldn't get an airmail drag to fall. He was throwing airmails like nobody's business, couldn't get the drag to go. Bryce Jefferson, nice win, brother. And the first time we've really ever had a chance to chat and talk in that winner's interview like that. It was really nice to talk with you. And Joel Marmo, good for him too. Very nice. Co-ed doubles. This is where the revenge happened. Lisa Hill and Brandon Lacewell, who have been on a gas-fueled tear lately, took down Kelsey Heidert and Daryl Macon. Trinity Miller and Zach Harris coming in third. In the quads, Big D beats Big D to take that championship TNT in third. And in the big blind draw, Sean Anderson, who showed up later in the afternoon,
baby,
and smuggled in a couple of guns.
Mr. Cutoff. Mr. Cutoff.
Yeah, he rolled in there, big blind draw, paired up with Grant Upchurch, a name you may or may not know, but a Texas guy who has some game. And they took down Joel Marmo and Drew Dixon in the big blind draw. Wendy Barger and Terry Swiney, congratulations. Well done. We'll get to the Pro Series results here in a moment, but how about World Doubles Tier 2. Darren Chitty and Chris Turner, congratulations. Christopher and Nicholas Craigelo take Tier 3. Chris Gore and Bo Ingram take Tier 4 doubles. Steven Swift and Beverly Capers take Tier 5 in doubles. And then we get over into the main bracket. The team of Matt and Matt Squared, Ledbetter and Arsenault tied with Chase Hollis and Preston Hollis for 7th. Parker and Harcrow tied with Chris Day and Larry Young for 5th. Colby Baskins and Scotty Ball, who were a really good team, and then they just kind of floundered a little bit, but they had a great weekend. Coming 4th, Daryl Macon and Johnny Thomas in 3rd, and Grant Upchurch and Preston Smith, they call him Zeb, battled Zach Harris and Drew Dixon. Zach and Drew came out on top, but there was a shot that Zeb Smith made. We're going to have to go back and find that for another shot of the week. This was a seeing eye bag. This thing came in and did. If we had drawn it up and said, well, this is what he should do, but there's no way he can do it, and he did it. It was an amazing shot. So congratulations to Zach and Drew. World Singles Tier 2, Tristan Jernigan, congratulations. World Singles Tier 3, Andrew Burrows, congratulations. World Singles Tier 4, Tony Fiddler, well done. And then we didn't run a Tier 5. So, Frank Geers, congratulations, Tier 5. You saw his trophy at the beginning of the show. Nicely done. I didn't have to ride 13 hours in a truck with him listening to it on the way home.
I'll tell you, I told you, I had to build a new barn just to fit the wood that I keep winning.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those Fisher-Price ones that
That's
they
right.
have the little farm animals. But I did think it was cool that you had everybody in Tier 5 come over and sign the back of it.
Well,
that was
not
pretty
everybody.
Cool. Anybody that was still
most
there.
Most people ran after I beat them. They couldn't be seen after I beat them.
Well, it's hard to get autographs from Ghost, and Ghost.
No, it was a lot of fun. It was
hard
hard work.
World Singles, Jack Harcrow and Jonathan Etheridge tied for 7th. Brandon Lacewell, who had a great weekend, ties for 5th with Russell Tabers. Craig Irvin, 4th. Chris Day, 3rd. And then it was a battle. He was so close to his first singles championship, Sebastian Barger, and he fought Grant Upchurch. Grant Upchurch, who earlier you heard his name pop up in the where was that in where did I have him?
Doubles.
Oh, in doubles. Yeah. With Zeb.
Yeah.
2nd in doubles. Grant Upchurch takes the world singles title. Good dude, and also if he's looking for another gig, he could be the stunt double for Zach Rush. We're looking at him and like, that looks like Zach Rush with his hat on.
Yeah.
Then he took his hat off.
That looks like
And
Zach
he looked
Rush.
more like Zach Rush. And Zach even tuned in. He goes, what am I doing there? So, anyway, good stuff there. Congratulations. everybody else except Kelsey proved Philip wrong this week, and I think he was excited about that. But how about the Pro Series skins?
Good stuff, Finney.
We battled it out over 30 pros. We're in the house, battled it to the final bracket of 16. We had our Pick Your Poison, which I think everybody gets a kick out of. I think there was only one that backfired. Only one Pick Your Poison. But we did have a 13 frames to nil game. We did have some that carried over. We had multiple ones that went to the 13th frame for sudden, we don't call it death, sudden opportunity to win. But big money was paid out, $5,000 in cash, and the big old wooden thing. And the SCR scores were pretty strong. I think the top score was 146.
Yep.
My man Philip Arnett made it in at number 8. So Daryl Macon, Matthew Arsenault, Kelsey Heidert, Kaz Barkley, Dustin Arant, Rob Cooksey, Noah Dennis, Sebastian Barger, Philip Arnett, Matthew Davis, Brandon Lacewell, Parker Burgett, Craig Irvin, Ashton Watkins, Scotty Ball, and Chris Day, all in that final 16. Coming out on the very, very tippy top, a guy who made everybody throw the worst game they had thrown all day because he played it like, it was surgical the way he did it. Parker Burgett, he had a great game. Really did.
It's good stuff, man. That's what you got to do.
And we only had to replace 6 or 8 plate glass windows from Steph blowing them up at the end when he won. So
good stuff. Congratulations, Parker.
You can, nicely done, brother. Appreciate you. And that also, when you think about this, would you have believed when we went to? Hang on for a second. I want to make sure I get this exactly right. To this format with the Pro Series skins over the last few years, we've had 9 of them now. And 10, including Owensboro at the Worlds. Jonathan Nail won.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we've had 9, right? Out of those 9, only Isaac has repeated.
Really?
No one repeated in season 19. It was Caleb, Tyler, Amos, Isaac, Brandon Earls, Doug Parker, and then Jonathan Nail at the Worlds. This year it's been Isaac Hurt, Doug Parker. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so we have 2. I'm sorry. Braden Easterling, and now Parker Burgett. So who's it going to be in Branson? I don't know. But that's a pretty interesting statistic to me. That no one, that we haven't had anybody just run roughshod over the whole group. And I have heard tale told, standing up on center court isn't nearly as nerve-wracking as standing over there doing a frame game by yourself.
That's tough,
you called a lot of. You were scoring a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you're also trying to take credit for a lot of the people that made it into the finals.
Yeah, made it 5 of my 8. I had 5 of the top 8 that I scored made it, and we had 4 scorers over there. So,
yeah, so you can thank him later.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Chad and Kim's excellent cornhole adventure in the UK is going to be its own standalone video in the YouTube channel. Trey will put a little promo on Facebook to take you straight to it, so you'll see that a little bit later on. It took them a while to put this together because they went everywhere.
She does a great job with that. They do a great job with that.
She really does. Survey winners for Peoria. How about Kelly Naylor from Illinois? Thank you for filling that out. Appreciate you. You got a free singles and doubles registration coming to a major, a $120 value, I might add. And the registration bag winners, pre-registration first 100 bag winners for both majors this week. Upland, California. You're going to have to bear with me on this one, Dimitri. Dimitri Vasilakopoulos. I hope I got that right. Dimitri V, man. Congratulations out of Utah. Jeff Reed out of California. In Toledo, it's Kyle Brennan and Nathan Menifee out of New York and Virginia, respectively. You guys will have bags that are there for you, official stamped and authorized bags from the ACO, absolutely set up for free. You got to love it. Also, we're going to get to Phil's picks here before we wrap the show up for both of these weekend majors. So we have Upland and Toledo this weekend. Then it's Texas. Okay, we're going to be back at AJ's. Jonathan Zarzinski was on with Phil and I talking about exciting more and more players coming in to play in these majors at AJ's. So very excited about that. May 2nd and 3rd, Mobile, Alabama. That's going to be a big one.
Mobile, Alabama,
That's
baby.
always fun, and it's a big one. And there's always some very cool ships there to check out across the river at some point.
Mobile.
Yeah, it's cool. And some great food also. The Chi-Town Major in Chicago, May 9th and 10th. Believe it or not, we're getting down to it. May 23rd and 24th, Camp Margaritaville, Florida. Everybody loves that one that's been to that one. Don't miss out on getting your slot and your camper space rented, or your camper, or your whatever your housing situation is.
Cabin there.
Don't miss out on getting that rented for May 23 and 24. And then May 30 and 31, the final
Here
Pro
already.
Series skins and ACO Branson Major Weekend. And I had been saying for quite some time, oh, it's just like every year, Memorial Day weekend. It's not Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend is the weekend before. So it'll be Friday, Saturday, as we do. And it's going to be a Pro Series skins, the final one of the regular season. So make sure you've got your plans made. Then after May, we got a little bit of a break before we get into the World Championships in Tulsa. Punta Gorda, the 3-day festival, $20,000 on the line over the 3 days.
That is so much fun, man. Finn, I hope again we can fill this thing up bigger and better than ever before, because I want this thing to keep growing. I want the ACO to keep heading down there year after year in Punta Gorda, and I expect to see a bunch of our bag partners and a bunch of our players down there.
Well, and I think this circles back to what we were talking about Monster Cornhole. Maybe there's an opportunity to get some players from Florida that maybe they've been intimidated by the game to this point or that point, but they can come out, and we have enough ambassadors, if you will, who are just players that can get somebody involved in Monster Cornhole and say, hey, you want to come out and hang and have a good time? This is the place to be. Come out and check out what it's all about. This is us in a nutshell, okay? That is June 25th through the 29th in that window right there. Twisted Fork, 4 Point Sheridan, backup plan with the convention center. All good. Late day starts, $20,000.
Yeah, and the next thing I think we should do at our next time we're on the air, because I don't think we're going to be on next week, right?
Right, we're gonna have to skip a week for vacation, and then we're gonna be back with a triple Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, well, that might be a triple dipple taco, because what I'm thinking is we need to get a taco special just talking about the state championships that are around
my
the
gosh,
corner in
that's
June.
right.
So we've got a bunch of those things coming up. So we'll be talking about that one of these days in the near future.
Very good. State championships, a big deal, big fun. In August, after the Worlds, August 1, 2, and 3, that's when ACO is going to be doing the activation for the National Senior Games again in Des Moines. And you know what? I can tell you all about it, but it would be much cooler if you heard it from them.
These athletes are showing the world that more is possible, and it's never too late to get in the game. The National Senior Games is an Olympic-style multi-sport experience for thousands of active adults 50 and over. People enjoy competition and camaraderie, and many don't start until midlife. Qualify for the National Senior Games at one of our member state games around the country. Find out more at nsga.com.
Gotta love it. That was fun in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, and Des Moines not going to be any different.
Des Moines the only thing that's going to be different in Des Moines that I know, I think Ryan LaBelle is going to be with me there running the event for the Senior Games, so that's going to be a lot of fun. He and I are coming off the World Championships. I think we got Tammy and Junior Williams coming out with me, along with Margaret Barrett and Juana. So
Juana Karash, nice.
It's going to be a fun little group running that, and this will be the third Senior Games that I've been to, and I'm becoming a regular there. So it's a really cool event.
Yeah,
and it is because of how cool it was.
When up in
man.
Pittsburgh, it was something else, and just got to meet so many great family members that are there to support their parents or grandparents who are playing. There were so many people that were that had seen the sport but were curious about it. I said, well, I definitely want to get in on this. And some did, and some had other events that they had to go do. But then they're like, the next time, and you said this is almost sold out, right? For
this
Cornhole.
one's we're closing in on 200 players already for this this event. So good stuff.
Love it. And I can't wait to see the shots of the week from the Senior Games.
Oh, wait. And in the Senior Games, we do have a bag sponsor this season. IMF is the proud sponsor of the Senior Games. So if you are a senior that is playing in there, the Grendel, I believe, is the bag of choice. That's the bag that players will be playing with, either supplied by the ACO, or you can bring in your own Grendel bag set.
Nice. And those were some specially made logoed bags too, weren't they? We had some.
Well, yeah, we did that in years past. But now
ago.
what players can do is there's actually a coupon code that they can use to go get 10% off thanks to the National Senior Games. So for any of those seniors that are looking to buy a set of bags, they can go out there and get that discount code. And you can find that at the nsga.com website, what that code is.
Awesome. Well, and like I said, can't wait to see some of the shot making there. And we teased this a little while ago, Whole Nation, the shot of the week here. This goes back to the Pro Series that we were talking about a little bit ago. And I'll let Rich tell you about it. But this was this. I feel like maybe this might be my fault because Ashton Watkins, I asked him if I could refer to his winnings as gingerbread, and he goes, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, I don't think he knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, bottom line is this is something. Rich, take it.
Thanks, Finn and Frank. Welcome to this segment brought to you by Hole Nation. I'm your host, Rich Pyle. I'm going to show you a cornhole shot from a recent tournament. A pivotal shot. A game-changing shot. A shot you don't get to see every day. Check out this Shot of the Week.
This week's Shot of the Week comes to us from Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana, where the ACO Pro Series Skins Tournament is underway between Chris Day and Ashton Watkins. The next person to win a frame wins the match, the money, and moves on in the tournament. Ashton starts off putting himself in a bad place by dropping his first bag off a little to the left. Chris takes advantage and drops a blocker right in front of the hole, and Ashton follows up blocking Chris's blocker. And then Chris pulls off a side winding snatch bag. A gargantua grabber. Great shot, Chris.
Thanks for watching this week's Shot of the Week. Now let's turn it back over to the Taco Show with Frank and Finn at the ACO World Headquarters. Frank, Finn?
Bring it! Right on, Rich. Thank you very much to you and Tracy both for isolating that. That was a great shot. And that was one of those situations where we talked about, win the skin and you're in and you move on. And Chris had a great Pro Series skins. Ashton was in. I mean, it was everybody that was in there. It was cool to see Kaz Barkley. I mean, Rob Cooksey was pumped because he had made it in there, and he sent me a video of his grandbaby cheering for him. I don't know if we're allowed to call him Papa or Poppy or whatever he was saying, but he was watching him on the phone cheering for him there, which was really cool. It was fun.
You were talking about how hard it is to get through that. I was talking to Craig Irvin. It'd been like 3 or 4 times since he had been able to actually make the cut. That cut line, man, that's crazy. And I don't know, me as a player, I'm not sure if I want to set the cut line or know what I need to beat to get in.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it was nerve-wracking for Phil because Parker had set it originally. Parker Burgett had set the top score, I think, at around 140, maybe a little higher. And second to him was Phil. And he was just biting his nails down to the nub, waiting to see if anybody caught up and passed him, but maybe bumped Parker down and got above him. But so, yeah, to your point, which is better, to get it over with early or come in hot late if you think you can? But everybody kind of evened out. We went through that, and that was a great shot right there. That one is another one of those, what I call those seeing eye bags. Just kind of came in there. I don't even think it moved one of Ashton's bags, not even one pellet. And it was really well done by Chris Day, who had a great weekend. So time to Phil. He had double duty this week. He's got to hit Upland and he's got to hit Toledo. So we said, Phil, get out there and do it. You got some heavy lifting to do. Get some heavy gear behind you.
Welcome to another episode of Time to Phil. This week we are headed to 2 majors, Upland, California, and Toledo. Had a great time last week in Shreveport. Congratulations to all the winners. Now let's get started in Upland. For women, I'm going to go with Kelsey Heitrott to take the women's down. But watch out for Kim Jackson. Won a car rash here. In juniors, I got to go with Karsten Morris to take the juniors field down. In the seniors, I'm going to go with Daryl Macon. And in co-ed, Daryl Macon, Kelsey Heitrott, but watch out for Kim Jackson and Chad Jackson in this division. In doubles, I'm going to go with Kelsey Heitrott and Daryl Macon to take down the doubles field, but watch out for the Jacksons here. And in singles, I'm going to go with Grant Upchurch to repeat. He was our winner last week in Shreveport, but watch out for Daryl Macon in this field. And that's going to be my pick for Upland. Let's head north and east to Toledo, Ohio. Let's get started. In women, I'm going to go with Kennedy Meineke, but watch out for Josephina Ernsberger here. In juniors, I'm going to go with Isaac Hurt, but Sammy Van Sickle could upset Isaac this week in Toledo. In seniors, I got to go with Brian Higginbotham to win, but watch out for Michael Hoaxing and a red-hot Steve Heath this week. In co-ed, I'm going to go with Martina Belt, Russell Tabers to take this field down. But watch out for Barry Hippie and Tiffany Sparks here. In doubles, I'm going with the Hertz to take down the doubles. But watch out for Braden Easterling and Zach Keir. And in singles, I'm going to go with Isaac Hurt, but watch out for Braden Easterling and Caleb Hurt in this division. And that's going to be my picks this week for 2 majors. If you think I should pick you, prove me wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people have been proving him wrong, but he is hedging his bet very, very wisely. Now look at him going all in, all his chips in on Grant Upchurch. And I could tell based on the way he was talking about him this past weekend that was probably going to be the case next time Grant was in the roll call. And he didn't go out very far on a limb with Isaac, so it'll be interesting to see with Caleb and Isaac both in Toledo. I see Harold says can't wait to get to Toledo. Go out there and prove him wrong, Harold. Get in there and make it happen, baby. Do it. Do it to it. All right? It's going to be 2 big weekends, 2 that we're going to have to gather the statistics and gather the results, and we're going to be off the taco next week, but we'll be back the following week with a monster version of it. See what I did? Boom. Right there. It seems like there was something else I was going to say. Oh, I'm hungry. So why don't we do this? The Cornhole Cookbook has hit Amazon, ready to roll. Order it now, get it tomorrow. If you're an Amazon Prime member, I'm sure you can get it in the next day or 2 and just start cooking it up for the weekend. And if you need any help, there's one recipe that's in there that we can get some help for you with. And in honor of going across the pond for the Just Good Food YouTube cooking channel host and ACO champion from ACO Europe this past major and pro.
Yep.
Our man John Steins, in honor of going across the pond, buddy, I wore my special Arsenal hat today, and congratulations to them for taking down Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League. So I think in honor of that, and if you saw the game, you know what I'm talking about, I might even be having rice for dinner. It'll make sense to someone. Bottom line is, we're going to end with a little Just Good Food from John Steins, and hopefully this will be the first of many from the cookbook that he cuts down and shows you how to put together. John, thank you so much for this. Thank all of you for chiming in. Wiz, Sing, Jim Ryan, again, appreciate you, brother. He says, I love the ACO. 70 inches diagonal, that much. That's how much do I love the ACO. This much. Appreciate you, brother. And thanks to everybody who checked us out, and we appreciate the feedback as always. Let's get to it. On behalf of the ACO, I'm Finn, the loudmouth of the American Cornhole Organization. He is Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude. And before we get to Just Good Food, you need to hear from the dude who reminds you.
John Stein, keep on cooking.
Hi, guys. You obviously know me, John Steins, ACO Pro, and ACO Major winner. But today, I'm not John Steins cornhole player. I'm John Steins from Just Good Food YouTube channel, and we're going to cook a recipe from the Cornhole Cookbook. Right, let's do it. So there's so many great recipes in this book. It is really good. But today, I've decided I'm going to go with hot honey cornbread slabs. So you can use a cornbread muffin mix, or you can make your own. We don't really get it in the UK. So we've got cornmeal. We've got all-purpose flour, we've got sugar, baking powder, and salt. Just give them a quick stir. And then in another bowl, we've got milk, vegetable oil, or canola oil in the States, and an egg. And we just give that a quick whisk. Then we're going to add the wet ingredients into the dry. And we'll just combine them into a smooth batter. Then we get an 8x8 tray, and we'll just spray that with some cooking spray. Or you could just use oil. And then we'll just pour the batter into there. And that is going to go in the oven for 20-25 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 220 degrees C. So while that's in the oven, we can make our chili honey butter. And obviously for that we need jalapeno, honey and butter. So if we just mix the honey with the butter, it's probably easier to use a food mixer for this, but I'm just doing it by hand with a spoon because I'm sort of old school. I'm not that old. And then we're just going to add the chili. I've just finely chopped the chili. It's actually a lot easier if your butter's a little bit soft. That'll do great. Cornbread's out of the oven and it looks wonderful already, to be honest, but this next step is going to take it to another level, I'm sure. So what we're going to do, ideally, we want to do it on the grill outside, but you're forgetting this is the UK and it's raining outside, so there's not a chance of that today. So I'm going to do it in a frying pan. All I'm going to do, a bit of cooking spray in the pan, and then we're just going to fry each side just for a minute or so. Just going to get some colour onto there and a bit of crispiness. So while they're still hot, we're just going to spread our hot honey butter on top of them, and that's just going to melt in nicely. So that's our hot honey cornbread slabs. I'm just going to have a try. Yeah, really good. So what you need to do next, order yourself a copy of this, and then you can make it. I don't know what I'm going to make next. There is so many good things in this, I tell you. There is so many good things.